the transition facilitator is exactly what the name says, that they're going to help you transition. They're going to help facilitate your transition into where you want to go as an adult. And they meet with you, they help you plan your goals. You're going to sit down and write a goal plan of where you kind of want to be 5 years from now, where you want to be 2 years from now, where you want to be 6 months from now, where you want to be in a week. And we're going to kind of dial it backwards and then just make real concrete and practical steps to help the young adults accomplish their goals. We don't stipulate what their goals are. They tell us where they want to go and what they want to do. We just help them transition from being an adolescent into a young adult, and hopefully they can accomplish those goals.
Prior to my 18th birthday, I was living in, what program was that? CFP, Communities for People. I was in the residential house in Brighton. I aged out of there and I went to the Fenwick House in Somerville. From there, I was just failing drug tests, not coming home in time. My grades in school were plummeting. I was not being accounted for anything. I just wasn't being responsible. So they didn't kick me out, but they moved me to another house where it's more of a focus, where you get a staff member that's directly for you. Like, you are to do everything you need to do to prove that you are actually wanting your bed in that program. I was well in the grips of drug addiction. I was bouncing all over the place, all over the New England area, just doing nothing. I wasn't working, school sucked, and I wasn't ready for life. I wasn't living life on life's terms. And my birthday came around and I just said, I'm going to the store, grabbing a pack of smokes, and I never came back. My lifestyle was crazy. I was drinking, I was using drugs, and I was bouncing around all over the place. I really just wasn't living a healthy life. And I had some involvement with the courts. I ended up going to jail for about a year, well, like 11 months. And I was at Dedham House of Correction. I did my time. I was proactive with it. I didn't really get in trouble or nothing. And I got myself I used my time to get myself in the mind state that this is not where I want my life to be. This is not what I want. This is not the person I would like people to look at me as. And this just isn't what I feel is right. I got out. I paroled to the Yoncom House. It's a sober house aimed towards 18 to 24-year-olds. Everyone, received me with open arms, and from there I was directed to Tempo, and this is where I'm at now. I got here, I didn't know anyone in the area, I didn't know what exactly I was going to do here, but I stayed attentive and I stayed willing and I stayed open, and now, I have the confidence, I think, that it takes to really project myself in this community and job-wise, and I have the stability it takes to stay there and keep it going and stay open-minded so that I can grow, because if I can't grow, I'm going to stay stagnant and boring and I'm not going to get anything done. So, Tempo's A-okay in my book.
Tempo is a young program. We've only been here for 2 years, and then the year prior to that, when we were planning and getting things together to start the program, I think already in that pretty short space of time, we've seen some incredible successes of some of the young adults. I'm thinking of young adults, a couple of young adults who have stayed with Tempo, even though they don't live in the Framingham area and they're not really part of the daily operations of Tempo, but they've stayed on. They've learned to become research assistants and have interviewed young adults and been a part of our whole qualitative evaluation project, and have developed some wonderful skills because of that, have really blossomed as young adults who started out with some pretty serious mental health needs and have just blossomed into very, very fine young adults with a lot of confidence and a lot of just a lot of good stuff to rely on, some of which they got from Tempo. I do want to say that every young adult who's succeeded in any way at Tempo, 95% of the credit goes to themselves. And to say that about some of these young adults who've had really, really little support in their lives and had some very tough times, whether because of their own mental health issues or their family circumstances or just whatever the struggles are, they've had to say that they have this incredible resiliency is You know, that's a great thing to have in any circumstances, but for these kids, it's just miraculous that they still have it after some of the things that they've been through.
One of my biggest struggles was homelessness. Me and my mom at the time could not live together, and she actually found out about Temple and referred me to Temple, and then they've saved my life numerous times in homelessness situations, and they've like got me shelter and got me places to shower and picked me up all the way in Boston at last minute situations. Usually I'd find friends to crash on their couches, and then I'd meet random people and go stay at their place. And very unsafe situations. I always got my stuff stolen. I'm always losing stuff. It's really bad. A big thing is just the guidance from Gina was my worker, and Gina and Kelly, both of them guided me a lot. Like Kelly with the schooling, she's helped me fill out applications for that, and with making a resume, and she's like taught me how to be more professional, which I'm still learning. But Kelly helps me a lot with that, and Gina with the housing stuff. She's been like, she's guided me in so many ways. It's like, and she's helped me fill out so many different applications and helped me look into things and talk to people. And just recently I was having a situation with my apartment, and she spoke with a lawyer for me and got me all these different facts to help me out, and she's definitely like helped me. I've fallen a lot since I've been part of Temple, and they're always there to help me get back up whenever I'm ready to come back and get the help, and they never gave up on me. I think that's a big thing, and they always have the open arms. They always like, they never hold anything against you. They're very caring. Like, you just feel this like sense of comfort, and like, I don't know how to explain it. Temple's like my second home though. It's awesome.
I raised 4 children of my own who all passed through this age, and I saw how hard it was for every one of them to make the leap from being a kid to being an adult. And those were kids who had, you know, a pretty strong family, lots of friends, lots of activities and resources and talents, and, you know, so they had a lot, and it was still hard for them. So when I think about kids that have grown up in state care, whose families are scattered or unable to care for them, who have no money, you know, who've had tough times in school, who might be involved in, you know, all sorts of other things, I just can't imagine how they can do it. It just really breaks my heart.